In 2014, as far as the Russia is concerned, Russia joined the International Convention on Mutual Administrative Assistance in Tax Cases. 109 countries were in the list of those countries as of 2015. Next slide, please. I'm not going to read out the entire list of countries. You can just check whether your country is there or not. Also, the list of countries that exchange their tax information, the list is available online. You can just Google it up and see what countries are in the list of countries of automatic exchange of tax information. Next slide, please. As you can see, your Advocash, if we go back, Belize. Let's see if Belize is there. It's number 10. Belize country. It's a country where Advocash payment system is opened. And those of you who use Advocash think that their data is not passed to the taxation authorities. You're wrong. Belize is in the list of countries with automatic exchange of tax information. They provide taxation assistance to all the countries that are included in this convention. Doesn't matter what country the request comes from. It can be the British Virgin Islands, Belize, Gibraltar. This payment financial organization is required to answer the request. They participate in the exchange of tax information. Let's move on to the next slide. So we open accounts in Lithuania, in Liechtenstein. All those countries are European countries that participate in the exchange of taxation information. The Cayman Islands, here you go, Man, the island. So everything that you think is an offshore jurisdiction and you try to open bank cards or exchanges in Malta, for example, the Binance is registered on Malta. And if you think that if you exchange Bitcoin on Binance and you are not going to pay anything on it, you're wrong. It all depends on the amount. If you handle small amounts, like $100, $1,000, up to $9,000, then nobody will notice you. Nobody's going to send requests in your name. But if in the near future all of our partners make quite a lot of money from the sale of tokens, CRU or UNTB, you need to understand that it is all transparent. Nobody is going to hide that information if there is a request from the taxation authorities about someone specific, and we're going to all be verified. Well, there are some exchanges that do not verify their partners, but you won't be able to sell CRU tokens there. The Estonian exchange verifies everyone. Let's move on to the next slide. So Estonia is number 107 in that list. So guys, this is the list which dates 2015. Today is 2021. Do you think that if back then in 2015 they already agreed on exchanging tax information, I think today they're doing it better and quicker. And there is nothing bad about paying taxes. You just have to, deal with that. You have to realize that we all want to live in a lawful environment. It's not money that you stole. It's not some great scheme that we robbed someone of their money. We honestly participated in the project. We honestly received those tokens. We participated in staking. So UNTB were received as a result of staking, and there is nothing really secret about it that you shouldn't be paying taxes on it. You should be proud of it, that we learned how to make money from cryptocurrency. So let's switch on to the next slide. So here is a fresh document dated October 2020, the Organization of Economic Cooperation OECD is G20 countries, and which includes all those previous 109 countries that listen to the recommendations of the OECD. It's the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. In October, there was a report at the gathering of the member states of the central banks of the G20. We're talking about all the finance ministers of the biggest players in this world. And they listened to the recommendations on how to levy taxes from cryptocurrencies. Whereas before, they were interested only in foreign currency transactions in euros, dollars, Japanese yenas. Today, the governments of the major countries in more than 50 jurisdictions discussed the taxation modes or regimes and how to levy taxes from cryptocurrencies. So that document today is the basic document for all the banks and all taxation inspectorates in those 50 main states. Well, of course, other countries are using that document as their guidelines. Let's take a look at the next slide. For several years now, many traders who do professional crypto trading to generate their tax reports use special services. They're not doing it manually, because you're asking me, so what's the exchange rate, how to convert, how to declare, etc., etc. For us, the initial price of the CRU token is $0 for us. We received CRUs as a gift when we purchased educational packages. And the initial price of the token for your declaration will be $0.
If you buy CRU at the exchange, there you will see the price 10, 20, 50 cents, $1. The difference between the initial price and the end price will be your tax base. For physical individuals in Russia, this is 13%. And if you earn over 5 million Russian rubles, it will increase to 15%, but in most countries like the Netherlands, it is 35%. In Switzerland, it could be even higher. Valentin will learn the individual income tax, but there are such service as coinly.io, and at the bottom you see the countries this service supports and what does this service give. What is its role? You register in this service, you attach APK. This is a key to your exchange account, and the system actually automatically fill out all your transactions for this account, making up a report. The good news is that the tax declaration for 2021 should be paid next year in 2022, and therefore ahead we have 1 year to learn this stuff. If before you never do it, I didn't do it as well, then together we will master all these services. There is another service as well called blockpit.io. If you have small transactions under 25, then this service will be free. If you have over 25,000 transactions, then you should pay only €199 a year. And this blockpit.io fits better Europe and the USA, as they have different detailed templates of reports to be made up that applies or fits the context of the USA and Europe. And the service that is my favorite, it is in slide 3. I like it most. It is called cointracking.info. Quite likely I will register in this service. They have a lot of exchanges they service and a very convenient map. When you go to cointracking.info, you will find a map. You find your country. Africa, for instance, is white, meaning that on this service, they keep no information about the taxation on cryptocurrencies in Africa. There are only a few countries in the African region with the legislation already adopted, but in all the other countries, it is in white. So you won't find this information, but there are a lot of other countries, including UK, Canada, USA, Australia, with well-established legislation, and the website will show the percentage you are to pay on your income you receive in cryptocurrencies and the reports to be provided. And you may upload manually some data from your exchanges, but then in the end of the year, this service will make your tax declaration or tax report with even some proofs, with some stamps, but it's a digital document that will be viewed by tax authorities as a proof. And quite likely I will use this service myself. And the issue of the formation of reports for global unit exchange, we will upload these templates for you. Even without going outside the exchange, you can make this balance of your receipt and of your expenditures and the income you made at the exchange this year in 2021. Next slide, please. I believe that is the last one. Yes, we ran out of slides. Now I will answer some of the questions I read in the chat. Those questions you filled out in the table, there was a questionnaire. We will do our best to select frequently asked questions, and I believe most of them were answered today, pertaining to payment system verification, taxes, use these services. This information will be published in news section for you to go and have a look. But I believe that we have answered almost all the questions. There was a question about self-employed people or individual proprietors to save on some taxes. Can I register as a sole proprietor and instead of 13% in Russia pay 6%? Maybe in other countries, legal entities pay lesser taxes than physical individuals. I started to study this question. For the time being, my question is more yes than no. I phoned a bank saying that I am a sole proprietor and I want to open an account to get the revenues from European exchange opened in Estonia to my sole proprietor's account. Should I ask the same question 2-3 years ago? Bankers would get crazy. But today they are quite calm, responding to such questions, saying that you may open an account, no problem. And what is the ground for getting the euro into the settlement account? Generally, exchanges don't sign any contracts. This is a user agreement. But since this is my income, not my expenses, the bank does not request any contracts to submit, but simply to explain that you receive it from exchange and submit your user agreement or a screenshot as a proof that you have a settlement account at the exchange. But at the same time, you need to open an account as a sole proprietor. If at the exchange you are registered as an individual and with a bank as a sole proprietor, you may not transfer. And there is another question about the codes. The Foreign Activities Code. In Russia, there is no activity associated with trading in digital assets. I found other asset management, and there is another code, dealer activities through your own proceeds. If you select a wrong code, you may be in a list of licensed activities. For instance, brokerage, investment fund management. All these activities require a license, but there are some codes that don't require a license. Dealers activity through own proceeds or other asset management, and subject to this, that everything is compliant. You have an account with a bank as a sole proprietor and an account at the exchange as a sole proprietor, then you can pay a tax as a sole proprietor and this way reduce your tax burden. But dear friends, please note that this is the theoretical knowledge which hasn't been proved in practice. Unless proved in practice, it may not be valid. First of all, so look, we are practitioners. First of all, we try to test everything in practice, and then we are sure to say something. And similarly, it is true to the payment system. So we tested it on our own and then prepared the instructions and the guidelines. And the same applies to the taxes, because we all operate in equal conditions, and we are co-owners and owners of our tokens, and step by step we will share the information we learn, and we'll definitely share it with you. Well, I say goodbye to all of you, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye and take care.